Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. Something that I have talked about before, but a variation of this knife I have never looked at, and honestly, I think these variations, like these special versions of ProTech knives, are some of their coolest, and this is absolutely 100% one of ProTech's best models. So I will link this and all variations of this down in the description. Thank you so much to Blade HQ for sending this in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. And make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. So I own this knife. I own a custom version of this knife. I have also owned and EDC'd a basic, I think the one that I EDC'd was a CPM 154 version of this knife, however many years ago. But this is based on the original Les George custom version of this, which is called the Rockeye. I don't know if it says right here. Does it say right there? Yeah, Rockeye. And the production, or not, the mid-tech variation of this, the one that I really love and also own, is the Les George VECP. So that's what this knife is based on. But this version is ProTech's special operator variation, which means it's all black, and I think everything is sterile. Outside of the Les George logo, maybe? No, not even that. Totally sterile except for a tritium file in the firing button. Still to this day, this is one of the hardest firing autos. The Kershaw line, the Kershaw launch line, has knives that fire okay, and then there's some that fire a lot harder. Same with ProTech knives. ProTech's base, kind of entry-level stuff tends to fire, pretty hard, quite a bit harder than the entry-level Kershaw launch stuff. And then some of the launch knives fire about as hard as some of the, the baseline or entry-level ProTechs. And then there are knives like the Rockeye, which fires stupidly hard. And I have to imagine it's either a bigger coil spring. You can see it in my hand. It's either a bigger coil spring or it's the way that it is coiled. Rick Hinder actually, or Hinder Knives, somebody from their group, explained to me why the Hinder Eclipse auto fires or feels like it fires harder than the XM18, and it's because of the point where they start to coil it. When you're putting the blade back down, there's actually more coiling or more springing or whatever that's happening with that coil spring. So it might be the same case with the Rockeye, but the Rockeye and the Invictus and I think like the Terzwola, a few of those from ProTech just fire so insanely hard. On top of that, though, really, the Rockeye is just an incredibly good utilitarian design. We've got aluminum here for the scales, and then this is MagnaCut. I haven't handled too many knives from ProTech that are in MagnaCut. I think it actually says right here. DLC black MagnaCut blade, tritium, yes. So DLC blade, and then it says solid black handle. Probably just Type 3 hardcoat anodizing on the black aluminum. So if you were to pick something like this up, I don't think the DLC extends to the handle. So like over time, probably the Type 3 hardcoat anodizing is going to wear away, but not so much the DLC on the blade. With this being MagnaCut, obviously, don't have to worry about anything, as far as corrosion or anything like that. This knife's going to be able to withstand pretty much whatever. But a super duper tough auto, just an incredibly tough example of an automatic knife. They still have this clip, this same pocket clip that they've always used on it. I wish that they would use a different pocket clip, but it's not the worst clip in the world. It just has an elongated bill, and it's so long. So, I mean, it's long and it's flat, right? So it's not like it's like uncomfortable or anything like that. But it's just kind of like awkwardly long. This is really good looking though. The sterile look with the Operator series from ProTech is one that I very much enjoy. I mean, there is absolutely nothing on the blade or the handle. It is straightforward, just Operator, right? Let's actually turn off the lights and see if we can take a look at that glow that would come off from the tritium. Oh, we have the computer light on. Let's turn that off. Yeah. So as you can see here, the tritium, it just glows all the time. This isn't something that has to be charged up with light. This is something that's just, I mean, it's irradiated. I mean, it's just a small enough amount that it's not going to hurt you. But that's going to glow all the time, making it a little bit easier to find if you were to, say, drop it in a dark place, right? I mean, then also making the entire thing like orange probably would make it a little bit easier to find. But the Operator series is just cool in that way, right? Kind of like shadow, tactical, etc. Let's go ahead and measure this knife just so you guys have a general idea. It's been a long time since I've covered this. Overall length of the Rockeye comes in at 8¼ inches. Your blade length is coming in at 3.35. No. Is that right? No, I'm wrong. It's like 3.45. Cutting edge is 3¼ I actually have, I'm going to get out my version of this. This actually used to belong to Scott, and I ended up buying it from him because my hands like to patina stuff. And oh boy, we have to actually find it. There we go. So I have a version of this that is a custom variation in bronze and actually a mirror polished. I think this is CPM 154. Let's see. It's either CPM 154 or 154 CM. So this is a much more expensive version of the knife. But as you can see here, my hands have aggressively patinaed this knife. Now, not everybody's hands do this. Some people, don't have to worry about it. My hands apparently are salty or acidic or whatever. So we noticed that after I had touched this like a couple of times with patina, and I said, well, I'll buy it from you. And that's what ended up happening. So thanks again. I don't mind the patina. I think it looks kind of cool, but I appreciate him letting me do that. This is a substantially heavier item because of, this is actually bronze. Not like bronze aluminum or bronze titanium. It's actually bronze, so it's way heavier. So my version of this knife, which does not get used, it weighs 7.7 ounces. Wowzers. Now, this one here, being aluminum and magnet cut, obviously is going to weigh a lot less, substantially less, 4.6. Still heavier than I would have guessed. I wouldn't have put this at much more than 4 ounces, right? I mean, it is a full-size knife. It's a big knife. God, they really do. They both fire just as hard. This one just sounds different because it's in bronze there. But I think as much as I love like the mirror polished ones, I wish they would make an operator with this texturing here. We have like these little sections that have like, kind of like, it's kind of knurling. I mean, they only do it on one side. I kind of wish that they would make an operator version with that texturing. I think they do make a solid black one that just has those sections. It's technically not an operator. Like the operator variations are always completely and totally sterile and then have the tritium insert. But I think they make like a basic black configuration with these little, areas that have the texturing. I wish that they would include the texturing on the other side. I always think that it looks cool. Really, the only thing that I don't like about this knife is the same thing that I don't like about all ProTechs, and that's their insistence on using hex hardware. Pretty much everything else is completely and totally fine, but the hex hardware just drives me nuts. Outside of that, it's totally fine. The base version of this knife, I think, still comes in S35VN and is substantially less expensive. This is their most expensive standard production version of this knife. I think these operator Rockeyes come in at like $340. But the standard version of this knife, I think, is about $100 or maybe a little over $100 less. So if you like the Rockeye, and remember, these are made entirely in the USA, if you like the Rockeye, you just don't want to spend $340 for the Operator series, you can get the standard one for like $220 to $240. And I'll have all of those links down in the description. Like I said, I've already reviewed this knife, so no reason to do an additional review. I just wanted to share it with you because I had never handled a Rockeye, Operator Rockeye before. I think it's one of ProTech's best looking knives, and they're available on Blade HQ right now. So please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.